I know why you're not getting your way in relationships, in friendships, in life. The expectations trap. Too many expectations, too little expectations, not communicating your expectations. In fact, you're lying to us. I have high standards. No, false expectations. Let's talk. Expectations. I remember in marriage counseling, they told us, man, you might have so many expectations. If you don't communicate them, it can cause problems. And you're like, yada, 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 yada. They were right. You sit there and let's say relationship expectations. You're like, he should treat me this way. She should be treating me this way. And the whole time the person is thinking, no, I was raised differently. I know differently. That's not how I'm supposed to do it. For you, your expectations have ended here. You've not communicated them. But yeah, it happens a lot more in relationships where we believe we should be treated a certain way. And for most cases, we get a different way of we're treated. Then there's society. There's expectations from society on who you should be, how you should live life. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who was telling me that she'd never dreamt of getting married, but she always knew she wanted to be a mom. And she said, I really don't care how society looks at me because for me, this is what I want. But she knows she's in a society that expects her to do things in quote unquote the correct way. And so she's having that push and pull because she lives in society. Okay. Then there's those self-imposed expectations. I should be here by now. I should be married by this age. I should have been working here and here. I should be earning this by this age. This should be the caliber of friends I have. This is what my life should be. This is where I should live. Self-imposed. And sometimes that actually stresses you. So let's just talk about how to manage expectations so that we don't run our heads insane. The first tip I'd give you is to practice self-compassion. It's kind of like giving yourself grace. Extending yourself grace. Know, first of all, that you're human. You're going to make mistakes. Know that you don't have everything figured out, which means you can extend that same grace to whoever it is that you're in a relationship with, in a community with, who's supporting you, because you know they're not perfect. Even if you expected one thing and you're getting another, first you practice compassion on yourself. And you said, me as me, there are things I cannot do. There are things I won't be able to do for now, which means the other person, it's possible as a human being, they will also make mistakes. They also want to give me the same life I'm expecting. And I think the other thing out of self-compassion, I would say, we talk about self-love a lot, but it's that thing, if you're not able to love yourself, how can you be asking the other person to, even you have failed to love yourself that way, but you want me to come in and treat you like a queen. You treat yourself like a peasant, but me, I should come and treat you like a queen. Friend, give me a template. Show me that this is how they treat a queen. Then I will learn. Because if I don't learn from you, who love yourself the most, who will I learn from? Okay? So think about expectations. It has to start from you. First, the self-compassion. Give yourself grace. Know that, hey, okay, if I can't also be this way, the other person also can't. And then the self-love. If I can treat myself like this, I'll give an example of how everybody else can treat me. Communication. I know we feel like we discuss this a lot, but communicate clearly. And this happens to us women more than it happens to men. Because women say, how could he not? Did you tell him? No, he should just know. From where? From where? I'm a mother of 3 boys, so now I worry for them because I know how us women think. We're like, if you love me, you just look at me and just know that I'm hungry. You should know that I'm angry. I'm not happy right now. How can you not? Those expectations will drive you crazy. Please say what you want. Communicate clearly. And I know you might get exhausted from having to tell the person something over and over again, but like we started, self-compassion. Do you know how many things we have to tell you over and over again and you don't get right? So now, yes, the other person also needs to know over and over again what you need, and then they'll choose what to do about it. I want you to reframe your perspective. I remember a friend of mine said that, I used to ask my partner for flowers because it's so romantic. It shows love that you sat where you were at work and you thought about me and you brought me flowers or a chocolate, a gift, something, because maybe she thought that was her love language. Until she shifted her perspective and said, what I demand of expect of this person is love. Now, that love can be communicated in different ways or given in different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to come as chocolates or flowers. So she shifted her perspective and started to appreciate the things that he was giving or the way he was loving her versus chocolates and flowers. So sometimes it helps to shift your perspective of everything. If you're in a job and everything looks like a mess because you expected something and are getting different, shift your perspective. What is working in this job? Let me get that. And maybe if I want to add on, I'll go somewhere else. Not expect everything of this job or expect everything of this relationship or expect everything of this friendship. Go get that thing where you can actually get it. Because here, you are going to be making noise for nothing. So just shift your perspective. Rather than keep fighting about it, say, no, this is the most I'll get. Let me just look elsewhere for this, or give myself the flowers and the chocolates. The other thing I would say is set realistic goals, okay? So you could expect me to buy a Range Rover, and I could, just in a year. But your expectation is that I should do it in 2 weeks. So please set realistic goals from this expectation. I will give you what you want. Just give me time. So part of the expectations, if you don't want them to drive you crazy, is that be realistic. I expect Flavia to give me this, but I know she will. It's just in this time frame, because it is that narrowing it down to my time frame that will stress me. But if I say, yeah, it's okay, this person can deliver this, but yeah, take your time. I know you will give me, so take your time. It's less stressing. So the expectation is still ticked and the goal is still ticked, just not in the time frame you wanted. So be realistic. Don't start expecting something from me in the time you expect it, in the way you expect it, because part of goals is not just time. It's not just telling me you want the Range Rover in a year. Part of it is also telling me an expectation I could actually carry out. Do you understand what I mean? It's like self-imposing. There's a time where I thought I could learn a language. So at uni, they used to give us, I think, French, Kiswahili, and German as the options. And I remember I was like, I'll do French. It'll be easier. I actually passed in uni when there were exams. Then after some time, I'm like, I think I should just learn a language. Like 3 months, because, you'd be on YouTube and guys are like, in 3 months, you'd learn a language. I know I'm a very smart girl. I'm intelligent. But based on the things in my life, the time I have and don't have, there's no way I can learn a language fully and comprehend it well in 3 months. So the expectation is self-imposed that I feel like, because I think I'm genius, I should do this in this time frame. But I can't. And actually, the more I try to do something in a short time unrealistically and I fail, the more I will think it's my expectations that actually have a problem, when it's not that. It's because I'm unrealistic about what I can do and in how long I can do it. So I want you to look into the expectations, the ones you have of yourself, the ones you have of others, whether it's the relationship or friendship or the community or the job, or everywhere else, and reflect on whether you're having expectations that are false, they're non-existent, they're too much, or you're within, what is possible. You've communicated them clearly, and then now that you're not getting them, now that you know it's impossible to get what you're expecting from Flavia, what are you going to do about it? That reflection, that conclusion will help you figure out life and be a bit slightly less stressed.